Miss Angry August? It's every month when you're a Patreon subscriber. An exclusive video every Tuesday on top of early access to the weekend video, plus the satisfaction of knowing you keep this channel alive. Get angry at patreon.com/doseofbuckley. Every year, Mark Zuckerberg looks less and less human and more, like an AI's rendering of what it thinks Mark Zuckerberg is supposed to look like. And maybe this is why he's so enthusiastic about the MetaVerse. About being able to live in a world where he can create a character that looks like what he wishes he looked like, rather than, this. The MetaVerse is both easy and difficult to explain in like a sentence or two. The easiest way to describe it is a virtual reality space that you can completely customize and where you can interact with other people. But I'm sure people who know a lot more about tech will tell you that's actually a complete oversimplification and barely scratches the surface of what the MetaVerse truly is. At least they would tell you that if they weren't busy purchasing 3 more monkey JPEGs and buying the dip on Dogecoin. And although Mark Zuckerberg owns a company named Meta, he did not come up with the concept of the MetaVerse, much like he did not come up with the concept of faces, books, or putting pictures of faces in a book. But he says he would like to see 1 billion people in the MetaVerse, close to 1/8 of the total population, each spending hundreds of dollars for things like shirts for their avatar, curtains for their virtual home, digital knickknacks for their virtual conference rooms. In other words, once you've filled your own real home up with useless shit you don't need, you can log into the fucking Matrix and buy more useless shit for your fake home. Now, there's still a smidge away from 1 billion potential users. The Oculus Quest 2 headset, the Meta Quest 2 headset, sold a little under 9 million units in 2021. So, only 991 million headsets more to go. Of course, this sounds like a complete pipe dream from the Zuckman until you realize that Fortnite made $9 billion in 2 years. Yes, that's billion with a B. Basically selling nothing more than cosmetic bullshit that just changes how your character looks. Doesn't change how the game plays at all. And many people use it as a social hangout with their friends too. So, it's not the most insane thing to imagine that some person who lives in a 2-room egg crate in New York City might enjoy strapping on a VR headset to spend money on a bunch of furniture for their 3-bedroom, 2-bathroom virtual home with a finished basement that they can never own in real life, partially because the world's a nightmare, and partially because they are the type of person who doesn't know how to save money and spends it on fake furniture for their fake house so Mark Zuckerberg can make a couple more bucks. But anyway, so far, I haven't read a single positive thing about the MetaVerse. Is that just confirmation bias? Is it our resistance to change? Sure, I'll admit that that's very possible. In the 1990s, people thought it was fucking silly when they found out that a small group of us nerds were on our computers at home in chat rooms all day. Now, every person on the planet is glued to their fucking phones, angrily tweeting at each other all day and commenting, "You fell off," on YouTube videos. But I think we're still a long way from the MetaVerse being mainstream. For one, the headsets need to become a lot more comfortable. I own a first-generation Quest, which I'm sure I made fun of like 6 years ago or something, but you can really only wear the thing for about 30 minutes. Maybe you can endure an hour before it's just too uncomfortable. And when you take it off, you have these stupid lines on your face that take like an hour or so to go away. If it didn't just give you a rash like some Oculus 2 users reported. But again, maybe I'm just biased. Maybe I just want this to fail because I'm a dirty lib who hates industrious, hard-working, self-made billionaires. So this is my opinion, right? So, we turn to science, the non-bias buzzkiller. There was a study published this year where 18 university researchers and employees spent a week working in the MetaVerse, wearing headsets for 8 hours a day, then spent another week in the real world, or, as it'll be known in the future, the Vanillaverse. For the VR portion, 2 of them dropped out almost immediately on day 1 because they were nauseous and couldn't continue. A common problem, some people just can't use VR currently. The remaining 16 were overall less productive, found it harder to do certain tasks, were more anxious, more frustrated, and of course, their eyes hurt more. I know, you're already scrolling down to comment. Yes, this is a very small study, I'm aware of that. 18 people, hardly an indicator for the future. But hopefully, Zucky B can look at things like this and maybe similar studies that might be going on and go, yeah, we need to figure out a way to make these headsets more enjoyable to wear for long periods of time. I mean, if you're forced to have something clamped to your head for an entire day while working, it shouldn't feel as dystopian as that sounds. So, for work applications, it's basically no better than a Zoom meeting with a hunk of plastic strapped to your face. But what about the social aspect? Well, so far, there haven't been too many positive stories about that either. The one that could have been positive, the VR Foo Fighters concert that aired the night of the Super Bowl, was a technical disaster because they couldn't handle 7,000 fans joining at once. Zuck wants 1 billion people using this? It was pre-recorded. Their servers couldn't handle 7,000 people essentially watching a video at the same time. And surprise, a bunch of their users are shitty. Late last year, a woman who was beta testing Meta's own Horizon World software, a VR space where you can interact with people, claimed she was groped in virtual reality. Now, I bet my reaction to this story was the exact same one as you're having right now. How the fuck could you be groped in VR? Doesn't being groped require actually being touched? What, were they wearing a haptic feedback vest on their tits and her Polly Pocket? And no, of course you can't literally be groped in VR. But someone was coming up to her, getting in her face, dude was having his character rub her character's parts, wouldn't leave her alone, and was being an overall creep to her. And with the more immersive nature of VR, it's worse than just someone calling you names on Twitter. Especially with the spatial audio. The closer they are, the louder they are. So it's like they're literally breathing in your ear. And it sounds like this. Yeah. No doubt it's very unpleasant. Well, why didn't she just take her headset off then? Is probably what you'll ask. And Meta basically said something similar. Their response wasn't, oh, that guy should be banned, what a piece of shit. Their reply was that she should have utilized a tool called Safe Zone, a safety feature made available for cases like this. When activated, Safe Zone prompts a protective bubble when users feel threatened, preventing anyone from touching them, talking to them, or interacting in any way until they feel safe enough to disable the feature. Man, even in the virtual world, it's the woman's fault. But also, she's supposed to be beta testing. If your beta testers can't use the product has failed the beta test. Another article mentions that a woman recorded over 100 problematic incidents in an 11-hour VR chat session, some of which were from children. A Bloomberg reporter mentioned having weird dudes taking photos of her avatar, which, it's not you that they're taking a photo of, but still bizarre. And then talking in her ear as well. Another woman, writing for Medium, says basically 3 to 4 dudes came up and air humped her. Well, it's not the word she used, but they then yelled, "Don't pretend you didn't love it!" Well, they took pictures of themselves humping the pile of polygons that represent her in the virtual space. Meta's answer to all of these incidents was to update the Safe Zone feature to something called Personal Boundary, which doesn't allow anyone to come within 4 feet of your virtual space if you don't want them to. And you can even adjust it further. Now, I'm surprised their solution wasn't just to rebrand the whole thing as a Japanese subway train simulator. Haha, problem solved! I guess you can just mute these goobers too, but if the solution is, well, if you don't like that, then just don't use it, or don't let anyone come near you, then that's not much of a future for the MetaVerse, is it? Are we gonna need MetaVerse police who also don't listen to women? Sorry, but seriously, what's the actual answer to that? Because if basically the answer is, it's uncomfortable to have a headset on, and when you have it on, it's uncomfortable for half the population to take part, and dudes that see it happening can't do much either, it's not like you can run up and virtually punch some douchebag out to teach them their fucking manners, then why would anyone want to even be a part of this? I mean, I guess they don't. So far, Horizon Worlds has 300,000 users out of those 9 million headset owners. I can't imagine why it's not more popular when it's such an attractive prospect. Imagine your work life spent with a TV strapped to your face, and your recreational life spent living in Facebook itself, and all those goofball commenters shouting the most uneducated shit about every single topic. You get to hear their voices, and hang out with a digital representation of them, wraparound sunglasses and all. When you put it like that, just bolt it to my temples and cut off my cock. Won't need that anymore. I'm a meta man now.